what a wild day. Is it just all over the place right now for you guys?
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, like as soon as we won, I think probably like 50 DMs. Like my Discord was just lighting up, bro. Like
hang on. Was it so? Part of me feels like, because I want to talk about the match, and I want to talk about kind of prep and what happened midway too, but as far as during, and I'm going to play it while we go. But I'm curious on, because to me, what I think of initially is, okay, you guys win. It is a massive. I don't think that's an understatement. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
It's a massive upset, and I imagine those messages that you're getting have to be a mixture of congrats, but then part of me feels like, or, what did you guys do? How did you do it? But then I have to imagine maybe 50% of it or more is like, okay, can I join now?
Yeah. There's not like a whole lot of recruitment messages right now.
Okay.
Just being honest, which is kind of surprising to be honest, but yeah, but no, most of it is just like congrats, and like that is the craziest, most organized shit I've ever seen, like a lot of that kind of stuff, which I'm very appreciative of. Like it took us over like if you combine like every single person's time planning, like it was easily over 50-60 hours of time that it took to prep for this match. Because the thing with MFD is like, I don't know if anyone in the stream or you have like watched any of our past matches, but we just stumbled into top 16. We had literally zero free time to plan Roots of War whatsoever.
Really?
So we literally just stumbled into top 16 somehow with zero planning, and then just shot calling pretty much. And then this week we're just like, dude, why would EIS show everything they have against us? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would an alliance that's trying to win the finals versus Echo show every little secret that they have versus us? So then we're like, okay, now let's try and win. So we decided that, and we put in a ton of time, a lot of practice, so much testing every single day, all day long. And we were able to cook up this beautiful strategy and find new metas that other people didn't even know existed. And, we were able to make the biggest upset in probably CoD history. So,
yeah, I mean, gosh, man. I mean, so you're saying you guys really didn't do so walk me through preliminaries. So you're in preliminaries, you guys are going in. I guess even before this, right? Let's go before this. Before prelims, what was the level of seriousness like in I guess for MFD's RoW consideration? Is it something that a lot of people were interested in? Was there weekly participation? Was it, was there game planning? Was there VOD reviews at post matches? Were you looking to constantly update the team if people weren't contributing? Like, how serious were you guys taking it kind of during RoW matches prior to RoW League being announced? Or was it just kind of a little more casual before RoW League was announced?
So basically, okay, so just for more context, I lost in the Osiris League finals in Rise of Kingdoms, so I've had experience in this game mode and in other games.
Okay, damn.
Yeah. So I've always loved this game mode, and I was always planning on being creating a super competitive team. We even had a meeting with 60GT. I don't know if you're familiar with them in Rise of Kingdoms, but they won League like 4 times in a row. They're just crazy. So like we had a meeting with them and wanted to compare ideas and everything. And but after that, like I got super busy. A lot of the other people who was kind of the main brains in our RoW League team got super busy. So this entire RoW League, we had no time whatsoever to plan anything. And it was just this last week where we were finally able to have enough time to plan, and we jammed everything, like all the practice with the team within a day, basically. But we were relying on like our strategy that we were able to come up with, our shot calling, and everything to be able to beat EIS in this match. So
yeah,
like just as an example, like we pretty much focused on the opening play for probably 70% of the practice that we did, or 80%. Probably, yeah, it was probably more like 80%. Otherwise, we had no strategy for Lifestone. We had no strategy for any type of PvP fighting because we straight up had no time. We had Saturday that we could practice, and that was it. So most of it was just game sense, shot calling, all the people who were leading RoW just having as much game sense as possible by VOD reviewing other teams and analyzing like how to win open field fights and everything. And you know, our opening play plus our shot calling and our just in general game plan was able to get us to the win over Echo, or sorry, EIS.
Okay. Now I imagine so, and again, so I've seen league matches in Rock, but I don't know how similar or dissimilar or what some of the major differences are, because again, I've only looked at it from an overview. What would you say are the biggest differences between Rock League and COD League?
I mean, it's literally just the comparison in like the game structure. Like we have artifacts that can do different unique abilities in this game. We have flying units, we have ranged units, we have a bunch of different things. So that's kind of the main thing. But otherwise, when it comes to some of the similarities, like you practice the same, you prepare the same, the strategies in general are the same. The way you open field fight is generally the same, but you just got to factor in all of the differences when it comes to how cabs work, how infantry works, how flying units work, how mages work, how archers work, all that.
So the map design, the layout is the same.
And the map design, no, so the map design is different.
Okay.
But it's, in general, the principles are exactly the same.
Okay.
So like in Rise of Kingdoms, what our strategy was that carried us to the finals was we did like this T1 blitz onto the opposing obelisks, which was never done. Like we invented it, and that's similar to what we're doing now, is because we found a strategy through artifacts that allowed us to get to the outside halls first. So like the strategy from Rise of Kingdoms to now is like pretty much the same exact idea, but it's just done differently.
So I almost wonder if, and maybe this is just me, but part of me almost feels like in this inaugural season, it maybe almost gives the opportunity for things like upsets, given how close the map layout, design, the mode's features for RoW are when you compare it from Rock to COD, where if people have played Rock and they already have some experience, again, i.e. yourself and anyone else, it almost feels like there is a little bit of that opportunity for surprise because there is already some knowledge and some experience there on what you guys have done before. So you feel like that played a factor in this match?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, for sure. Not only that though, but also like Paradise, Hyper, and RPW, these guys are built freaking different. These guys have zero Rise of Kingdoms experience, and these guys are like thinking at the same level that I am, even though I have like all this freaking years of experience and stuff. Like it's crazy. And especially with RPW, he just joined us this season or last season, from O_O or whatever, like Sheesh, that alliance.
Yeah.
And like he jumps in a call with me, and I'm like talking about Rise of Kingdoms RoW League stuff. And he's like holding a perfect conversation with me when it comes to strats and everything. I'm like, dude, so you played Rise of Kingdoms? He's like, no, I just started playing COD. I'm like, how is this possible? And it's the same thing with Paradise and Hyper. Like both of them are just very smart when it comes to this game, and they're able to learn super fast. And without those guys, there's like a 0% chance that MFD would have been able to do what we did today. So big shout out to those guys.
Wow, dude. I mean, I absolutely. So okay. So now let's fast forward a little bit. So you guys are still taking your RoW matches seriously prior to RoW League. Once RoW League was announced, was there any massive changes? Did we step up a notch? Did we start doing some things differently? Did we start taking it a little bit more serious? What were some of the biggest shifts or adjustments or improvements that were made once RoW League was announced for you guys?
So basically, the original idea of starting to practice for RoW League started in probably June this year, something around that. And that was right after we had the call with 60GT, and we're super motivated to do it. So then it's like, okay, we start working on a basic strat, and you know, we're just practicing little things here and there. But then the issue is we get dodged 7 Roots of Wars in a row. Like, So now we're like, okay, so we're spending 18 plus hours on every single route to war, and then we're getting dodged. Like, this is just the biggest waste of time. Like, I guess we'll just wait for RoW League and wing it. And that's exactly what happened. So as soon as RoW League came out, like their early matches, we just power diff. Like, we'd show up with 25 people. Even in the last match of Route to War before EIS, we showed up with 25 people and somehow won. Like, we were not taking it serious whatsoever. It was maybe 10 minutes of planning for each row before the EIS match.
Okay.
So that's another reason why we were like, okay, we can actually upset EIS, because we haven't shown anything. We just showed that we're a trash Roots of War team.
Interesting.
So we had no VODs that they could really like look at and be like, oh, this is their strengths and weaknesses, because literally the plan that we did versus EIS has never been seen in COD history, because we did so much new stuff that people weren't even aware about. So
yeah. So see, this is so. So now this takes you, so it feels like what you're saying is you guys did have a level of seriousness in your preparation going into RoW League, but you never really had an opportunity to kind of fully show everything to where people were really able to kind of grab any kind of an idea or any kind of tendencies or telegraph movements or any kind of consistent processes that you guys would apply. But now walk me through prelims. I mean, obviously those matches are recorded. So what was the plan basically to say something like, okay, hey, we're going to have like 3 different maybe openings, and then we'll transition here, or maybe 3 different plans, and we'll just kind of do this because we can probably skate by some of these prelims and we don't necessarily have to kind of go all out or kind of show or tip some of our hand? Was that the thought, or was it more of like, we'll adapt depending on how things go? If we
were straight up just completely unorganized.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
so just
completely
chickens with their heads cut off, but we at least had like an opening idea.
Yeah, like we kind of ish had an opening, right? So like people knew where they were going to at the beginning of the match, and that's it. And then everything else was just calls, because basically during the prelims and everything, we were in KVK, so we were fighting the whole season, and we had no time to actually dedicate time to Roots of War League. So, and then also I was busy IRL. Paradise was super busy as well, and some of the other main heads in our RoW League team. But now we were able to kind of settle down, and it's really funny. Like the first week that we actually have time to plan it was this last week for the EIS match. So this is the first time that we've like actually had a Roots of War like plan or anything for like months. So
so going into the division rounds, for again after prelims,
same thing.
So there was no difference as far as how you guys approach that. Your thought was, okay, we'll start taking it serious if we make it to playoffs.
Literally no practice, not a single practice, no anything, just straight up war comms.
Like literally just straight MacGyvering it on the fly.
Yeah, literally. Like I don't know how we made it into top 16, to be honest. Like we should have lost to NXW because we put no effort into that, and they were like the same power as us or something. Like we should have lost to them. But then we're like, as soon as like if we win this and we're facing EIS, bro, like we're gonna go all out. And luckily everyone's schedules aligned to where, you know, we had enough time to plan and prepare. And
so you guys make it into playoffs. You guys become division champs. You're in playoffs now. What was the prep like before? Because again, you're saying we're going to go all out. We're going to, you know, especially in the matchup. Because I mean, you know, again, based on power, you could argue they're top 3, top 4 at that point, aside from Echo and WB. But and obviously BTX is up there too. But you go in. What was the prep like leading up to the match? And was the idea initially we are going to go all out, or did you guys have other plans before kind of arriving there?
No, we were going to go all like, so like as soon as they got matched with EIS and we looked at our schedules and we're like, wow, we can actually kind of degen for this. We definitely decided to go all out. There's no reason to hold back any strategies or anything, because EIS is like 4 billion power or 3 billion power stronger than us just on the league team. Like I don't know if you saw the end stats, but like we had to resource heal like 65 million troops or something. Jeez. It was ridiculous.
Okay, no, I haven't seen that yet because I've only looked at I didn't look at all the full analytics yet. I looked at some of the previews, and then I know I'm playing the match right now while we're chatting, but I'll definitely take a look there because I'm sure it'll either come up at the end or I can take a look after.
It's really funny. And if you see the kill difference, like they killed 10 million more troops than us. Like dude, like these guys all have max pets, max artifacts, bro. Like we maybe have like a third of our marches that are like that. So like we barely have any of the good marches or anything. So like we had to completely rely on comms, strategy, and
I mean, but
coordination.
okay, so now this kind of gets me in to something I was saying before you came on, which is that part of me feels like, especially maybe you can argue because it's the inaugural season, it's slash the first season, but part of me really feels like, you know, making more happen with less. And the fact that not only did for you guys, your knowledge, your experience really factored heavily into this, but it feels like another X factor for you guys was, like you were saying, that element of surprise, but really it was your diligence in your prep, like you were saying early on, that really allowed for you guys to kind of get out almost like to an early lead, and then you just never let it go.
That's the biggest thing. Exactly that. Yep. The biggest thing for us is we need to throw EIS off their game. And when you watch the VOD and you look at everything, all of EIS's rotations are off by multiple minutes. They're panicking all across the map because they're not used to losing. Like anything that we could do to throw them off their game and make them, like, force them to not follow their game plan and make them make conscious decisions, that's how we knew that we would be able to, you know, pull a lead off them. And one of the biggest things that we did is, like, one of the interesting strategies that we implemented is reinforcing all the outposts, because basically what that allowed us to do is have marches across the entire map. So if we need to staff or we need to do anything, we have complete map control. So there were a few times where, you know how like the beasts spawn and then you attack the pets and then they give you like these crazy bonuses.
Okay.
And those are right next to the outposts. And what we would do is, like, we would have those reinforcement marches in the outposts, which are completely unswarmable. So like EIS tried this multiple times. They tried swarming with like 10 marches or 5 marches, and they all died because we have a Gorish Kuma in there with a good Moss Rock, which you just can't swarm. And if we were wanting to go for a pet, we could just send all the inf marches out of those outposts, so then block the ramp, and then we could just allow our cab marches to pretty much free walk in there and be pretty much fully protected from enemy cab marches. And that was like a huge deal with 2 of the pets especially. So having that full map control and creating that pressure was really huge, because also, like, people don't really realize, but if you occupy all of the outposts, you're getting 120 points per minute, and we pretty much had that the entire match. And that alone is the difference between, I mean, it's significantly the difference between you know, EIS losing, but it's just a ton of free points, and it's really hard to deal with because you can't swarm it with cabs, which means you have to rally it. So it's really OP.
So
yep.
So your approach generally was, so you guys put emphasis then on your opponent's outposts, not necessarily just yours that are closest to you. You felt that this was one of the areas we could exploit against EIS that they may not necessarily be prepared for, and that was one of kind of your all-in plans to take advantage of that you felt also factored into kind of discombobulating, or at least taking them a little bit off rhythm.
Right, because also, and here's a perfect example, when you look at the VOD, you'll start seeing Dark, who's their main war lead in RoW, literally being the one who's bringing calves to try and swarm these outposts, but he's doing that so far away from all the other field. So he's unable to focus on the shot calling that actually matters, and he's having to deviate from that and send troops on the completely irrelevant spot of the map. So we were distracting their main war leader as one. And then, yeah, again, it's just like the hidden pressure. Like, EIS did not have a plan for us reinforcing their outposts, and we knew that. Like, why would you really plan on that when it hasn't been done in the past? Because when we VOD reviewed a bunch of other teams, nobody was doing that. And we knew that EIS would struggle.
Yeah. So. Man, listen, dude, like I'll be honest, I absolutely love, and I think this is an area where you and I and maybe some of and you know, some other people I find I align with a lot more, because for me, like I love the analysis portion. Like I love sitting down and just watching film and identifying opportunities and looking for trends and tendencies and break opportunity, you know, and break points, all of those things that you can look to take advantage of. So I guess I'm almost curious on, because as we know, you could have, you know, you could grab 10 people that play RoW and you could have all 10 people watch the same VOD, but it doesn't mean they're going to all have the same takeaways. It doesn't mean they're all going to be able to make the same finds within what they're watching and really understand then even more so how to take advantage of it, how to apply it to our team. So you guys are going through, you're watching these VODs, obviously because for you, you're coming already from having pre-existing experience in Rock. Did you almost feel like some of the matches you were watching, whether it was some of the EIS ones or others, that it kind of reminded you of just like early league days in Rock? Or did you feel what, maybe, you know, there are some teams that are probably a little bit farther along than maybe when it was initially introduced in Rock?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's exactly that. Like right now, like the strategies that you're seeing used right now are not going to be the ones that you're going to see next for a league season. I'm sure they're going to patch tree roots and stuff and some of the other broken things, but yeah, you're not going to see the majority of the strats being used now. So it's very basic, and like with EIS, like a lot of their issues was just like kind of inexperience and basic mistakes, and we were able to identify those before the match, and we just made sure to exploit those, and that was a big reason why we were able to win.
Oh my gosh, man. No, I mean, this is one of the things, but like I need to start, like that's, for me, I wish I could just spend some time and again, maybe I will, you know, on the weak side, I don't have my ladies, but being able just to kind of sit down and watch because I mean, to be fair, it takes a lot of time to watch matches, especially if you're watching a lot of VODs. Exactly. Yeah. Now, obviously, you can do some plus 30-second skipping here and there. And again, maybe there are some areas where you're like, okay, right, I can skip 30 seconds here because they're going back and replenishing, or they're doing this. It's going to take them a little bit to get there, right? So you can maybe save some time, I imagine, here and there while you're watching. But for the most part, I have to believe you're probably wanting to watch everything in its entirety, or at least as much as you can. And it almost sounds to me like what you're saying is because you guys had multiple people that could watch VODs, it saved you that much more time because each person could watch, they could take their notes, and then you guys are comparing. Was that kind of the approach?
100%. That was a huge thing to do with it. Like in Rise of Kingdoms, I mean, I guess technically I had another dude to do it, but it was kind of mostly me. Yeah. But like now, like 110%, it's like Paradise and RPW. Like both of those guys, I'm fully confident on having them VOD review anything, and I'm completely trusting of what their analysis is. Like they're very, very good players. So yeah, that saved a ton of time for sure. And then also, for example, like we VOD reviewed the match already with the whole team.
Okay. So this is, I'm curious now. Okay, so you guys watch. So and I'll ask a couple questions here. What was did everyone that participated in the match, did everyone get together, or was it just some people?
Oh yeah, we were celebrating.
Okay. Okay, so it was like a celebration watch.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Although we were roasting each other like crazy on certain things, so it was pretty funny.
Okay.
Like basically as soon as we won, we were in our voice chat for probably like 10-15 minutes and celebrating and everything, and then after that we joined CoD Discord, and then the CoD Discord voice chat got to like 180 people.
Is that okay? That's what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Because people were pinging me and they're like, dude, where are you? Like, and I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there were a ton of people. Then we ended up rejoining our voice chat so we could VOD review the match, and we did that. And yeah, I mean, like in general, like it's pretty crazy how good we played with the lack of practice. Like I said, the vast majority of our practice was our opening play, because there were like 50 different moving parts that had to be done perfectly, otherwise it could screw up everything. But otherwise, like mid game and late game, we did not practice at all. We had no time. We had no opponents to scrimmage against, and all that was just game sense and shot calling. So
okay. Yep. So you guys are in doing your VOD review. What were some, and again, you're saying like a lot of people have, what were some of maybe like some good points or some praise that you heard or maybe just good feedback you heard from any of the players that were watching. I don't know if you guys did like a round table or if you asked, hey, does anybody have anything to say afterwards, or maybe pausing. But was there anything of note or worthy that you thought like this was a really good point out, like that we did this really well, or things that, or even just things that the players liked that you guys did?
Right. I mean, we were able to hold our buildings very well. Like strong lane, I think we lost one tree the entire match,
Okay.
for example. Offlane did a great job at making late game calls where they lost their hall at like 30 minutes into the match, and like they just fully focused on pets, so then going mid and preventing EIS from taking the life stones, because we knew that if we have the outposts plus everything on strong lane, then we're getting more points per minute, which means EIS either needs to gather the points or they need to get lifestone. So then they fully swap from there. So like a lot of the shot calling was really good, and we like that. But otherwise, I mean, looking forward, yeah, there was a few issues, but nothing like super major. It was a lot of kind of just correcting micro issues. Like for example, for me, I got grilled pretty hard because for one of the pets, I think we had like more field there, and I was hitting the pet instead of attacking the player for some stupid reason. So I was getting grilled on that, which is completely valid. I should have been killing the EIS marches instead of hitting the pet. So that was valid. Okay. Just as an example, but there was a ton of other like little micro things. But in general, like when we VOD reviewed, we were very happy with how we played, given the lack of fighting experience that we had. Because one thing that we expected from EIS to do very well was open field fight, super coordinated, because I mean that main team has been playing together for a very long time.
Yeah.
And we were not able to practice fighting a single time. So any open field fighting comes down to the individual player's game sense and then our calls.
Yeah.
And EIS was way worse than we thought when it came to field fighting. They made so many mistakes, and we kind of got lucky with that. Like if EIS would have field fought properly, it probably would have been a different game as well. But I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure you will. And yeah, man, I mean, this is one of those things, right? Because you guys win. It's obviously the biggest upset. I like we said, no one's denying that. And again, but at the same time, I mean, let's be fair. You guys basically get bragging rights until the next RoW League or until the next matches that you guys have. I have to imagine that some people. To me, it just feels like that's like the auto clap back now. Just on any time someone says something, it's like, oh yeah, but what happened here?
Yep.
Because the memes are going crazy, and some people were telling me, I took a look at some. I haven't seen them all yet, but all I saw was like the meme said plus 15 new messages when I clicked on that channel when I checked in.
Oh yeah, dude, it's exploding. I think the mods had the meme channel turned off at the beginning because people were spamming so hard, but then they opened it up and they were just pouring in like crazy. So
yeah,
it's really funny to see. A lot of them are pretty funny, so it's good to see. But
oh man, so I want to maybe dive in a little more specifics here, because again, and I appreciate you being willing to state some things here that, you know, maybe anyone who is listening is able to maybe learn from or have some takeaways from, obviously without divulging too much. But when you're talking about how you felt that EIS had some opportunities when it came down to the field fighting, could you maybe just give us one example of something that you noticed that was that you felt, hey, this is an opportunity for them, regardless if they feel that way or not, something that you feel?
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, I'm not going to get into, like, super specifics because part of it is also how we field fought, but, like, for example, on our strong lane, which was the left side of the map, I think we wiped EIS, like, 3 separate times before they wiped us once. How is that even possible? Like, come on. But that's a little bit ridiculous. And just the positioning of some of their marches and some of their balls was just, like, super questionable and gave us free points and like, caused zero pressure on us whatsoever. But also, I feel like I don't know, dude. They did not field fight the way that we thought they would. We thought that, like, we would have had to go like 70% infantry and 30% cav, because they would have just been absolutely shitting on us in the field, and that wasn't the case. So, like, we were just able to stick to our game plan, and we were just like, okay, I guess.
Okay. So that's interesting. Now, what have you been noticing again, based on, because you saying that you and your team have obviously watched a number of VODs outside of the matches you've played thus far in the RoW League, what's the general consensus right now on kind of average percentage fill for openings on troop types? What is there a feeling on kind of what is being averagely used? Do you feel like something's being favored a little bit more than something else? Obviously, of course, without going into any specifics. And does that also relate or feel similar to some of the beginning stages of League in Rock's time as well?
Yeah, I mean, everything has to do with like what are the meta heroes and how OP are they. Like a team like EIS, I don't know why the hell they are playing like 80% cav and 20% if. Like, the logic makes no sense. They have all of these Krakens and whales that have all these G4 infantry max, and they're not even like using these to field. Like, it's very questionable. Like for MFD, that's why we thought we'd get crapped on so hard, is because
I see.
half of us, or like 75% of us, don't even have a 5111 clone. Like most of us have like Kuma that's like 5151, like something like that. But like, dude, like we don't have any heroes, bro. And that's something that EIS has, and they're running all these cav, which is like completely useless when fighting against a bunch of infantry. So I think it was partially like, I mean, that was a huge reason why they lost. We were able to kind of farm them in the field because of that. Their lack of G4 inf in the field. But in general, like the good teams that I'm watching right now are running like 50% inf, 50% cav, or 60% inf, 40% cav.
Okay.
There.
Now, how valuable do you feel it is when it comes to making troop type adjustments after the opening? Do you feel that, because again, there's kind of two lines of thought here generally, right? It's like either you're going to be the first one to make the move and then the others will adapt to you, or they're going to be the first ones to make the move and you will adapt to them, or you might stick with what you're doing in hopes that maybe you can overpower whatever they're trying to adapt, and it just doesn't end up working out that way. Do you notice that there is a lot of adjustments that are made, and maybe some teams do it where it's like, okay, hey, right, we're going to do our opening this, and it's going to be this percentage, that percentage, but then once a certain time comes up, or once this opens, we'll switch to this. Is there anything that I guess you notice on that front, or you think like, like this is something good to be conscious of?
Yeah, we knew they would always be on the back foot because we knew that our opening play was something that nobody else in the game has done. So we knew that we would get to all the structures that we wanted to first. So we knew since the game started that they would always be on the back foot when it came to that. So at that point, it's just like, what are the other things that we can do to make them panic even more and throw them off their game and distract their war leaders from actually focusing on the things that they're supposed to? And that's exactly what happened in the match. But like, we do have contingencies for certain things, like for our offlane, which is on the right side. Like, we have like 4 different plan Bs if our first thing didn't work, that's already lined up and in the works. So we have a lot of contingencies and plan Bs for strats, especially if there's a risk of them not working. Okay.
No, understood. And again, everything makes sense as far as, you know, how you guys planned out and what you're going into. Now, some people have been saying about and obviously this was the big thing on the hall play in the beginning. So,
yep.
And this is obviously what a number of people have been pointing to, at least from what I've been reading and from what I've seen. Do you feel like that really allowed for you guys to like that was a crux for you as far as on the opening play, and that and I'm curious, what are your thoughts on what were the thoughts going to be if you got the cap versus if you didn't get it?
I can't really leak our plans, but
no, I just mean as far as your thought process. Like, what was the thought process as far as like, this is how it will go, or like we can stick to this, or do we need to switch if versus getting it or not getting it? As far as how impactful was that going to be from the opening going into the mid game, whether or not if you got that?
Like getting that haul was pretty much a requirement to beating EIS for sure.
Okay, so you feel like if we didn't get it, it could have gone the other way, or it would have had a higher chance.
It would have.
Okay.
It would have. We don't, like, you need to remember that we are very weak like we are a very weak alliance. Like when it or team at least when it comes to heroes, artifacts, pets, all that kind of stuff. Like we're very weak. So we needed that haul in order to win. We were able to do it. We knew that we would be able to do it. And yeah, like if we wouldn't have had that haul at the beginning, then we probably would have lost the match. But actually, I mean, nah, actually that's super unfair. I can't even say that because if we would have lost that, then our strategy would have changed. So actually, I completely take that back now. Even if we would have lost that, we would have focused on different parts of the map, and we still would have been fine. Because even if they took that haul, strong, like it's practically guaranteed that our strong lane is going to hold all the buildings on the left. So I'm very confident in our strong lane to do that. So we just would have focused our resources in other places of value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I mean, I'll just say what a now I'm curious on your thought here, because what I noticed, and I've been, again, as I've been watching the match throughout us talking, it feels like at kind of the highest point, there was about a 5 to 6K differential at the height, or it feels like at the max point where you guys maybe had the most point spread that was in your favor. Obviously, the match ends, and you're around a 2K point spread.
Yep.
What again? And obviously, if the match went 30 more minutes, who knows? But obviously, it only goes an hour. I'm curious, what did you feel like there were? Because obviously, they started catching up at some point, and so I guess I'm curious, was there something you noticed at that point that EIS was doing? Did they change something? Was it something on your end, and maybe there was just a couple mistakes that was made, and they just left the door open and they took advantage of it? What were, and again, whether you don't necessarily have to go maybe into too specific unless you'd like to, but what were some of the things you guys noticed for why they started catching up?
Honestly, like that's just how the games go. Like EIS played exactly how we thought they would play it. We thought they would play a lot better, obviously, but they were very predictable with how they played. We gave them the first lifestone, we gave them the second lifestone, we gave them the third lifestone, and then we delayed the fourth. That was exactly our plan. That's exactly what happened. The only thing that sucks is, well, a couple things. One, we weren't able to practice our mid strat, so like our delaying of the lifestone was complete trash. So that's the biggest thing to work on for next row.
Okay.
But two, the behemoths bugged, so we didn't even get a bear. So like with the behemoths that you get, it delays lifestone like 5 minutes or so. And EIS capped their first lifestone at like minute 40 or something like that. So we were like super concerned that they were going to be able to do a fourth lifestone, because in general, just from the strats that we have right now, it's impossible to do a fourth lifestone no matter what.
Okay.
So at that point, we're like, okay, this could be like really bad. Like EIS actually has a chance of beating us. So then we did need to adjust a little bit. And then once you get to the end of the match where you're seeing all the chaos unfolding on mid, I mean, that was just crazy. But we were staffing everyone to delay the last lifestone, and it was really crazy.
Yeah. And I think I'm at like 21 minutes right now. It looks like this might have been the third. It looks like EIS might have got this one, at least based on the loading.
I think we should delay it for a bit longer. I think we delayed until like minute 12.
Oh no, never mind.
So,
it does say contested 34 or
contested.
1341. So maybe.
So you can see that why the behemoths are so OP though, because we can just put our Hydra there and they can't pick it up, because whatever we target the march that's trying to pick it up, it cancels the pickup.
Oh, so is it when you're getting the lifestone, like you have to be you can't get hit essentially, right? It has to be
you can't get
no
hit
damage
at
taken
all.
while you're capturing. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy. I don't know if I agree with it or not, but yeah, that's how it works. So like us not having the bear at the beginning was super scary, because for example, if we ticked off another 5 minutes, then the match wouldn't have even been close. Like we would have kind of shit on EIS even harder. But since the bear was bug and the bear didn't spawn for EIS or MFD, then it made the match way closer as well. Because there's a possibility of a fourth lifestyle.
Okay. Do you like the idea of behemoths being utilized in RoW?
Say that again, sorry.
No, do you like this idea of behemoths being utilized in RoW?
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool.
Okay.
You might as well. I mean, it's why CallofDragons is unique compared to Rise of Kingdoms, is you can't summon any of the buildings in Rise of Kingdoms. So since it makes CallofDragons unique, I think that it should be in RoW.
Okay. Any things, and I guess I'm curious again, given just kind of where you guys are at, you've already played a lot of RoW matches. Are there any pain points right now in RoW that you would like to see addressed, adjusted, improved?
Interesting question. Honestly, I think overall I'm pretty happy.
Okay.
Pretty happy with everything. I don't think there's anything specifically. I think that they should nerf. Actually, no, I don't even think they should nerf tree roots. I think that it's a complete skill issue, so I think they should actually leave that in as well. No, I don't think there needs to be any urgent adjustments at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yes, there is one. So for entering the Roots of War League match, there's a bug where you can't even join. So yeah, like for example, if I wanted to enter the match today, I had to close out of the Roots of War screen like 6 different times. That was so annoying.
Oh, jeez.
And that could mess up our teleport order. That can mess up a bunch of different things. And there was even one match where one of our main whales was completely unable to join the entire match. So they need to fix that as soon as possible. Well, that's really annoying. And then also, like, why did our bear not spawn at the beginning of the match? Fix that too, please. Thank you.
Fix that too, please. Gotcha. Okay. So again, given where you guys, I guess, are at now, and everything that happens, do you feel? I mean, obviously, your next matchup that you guys have is against Sleepy Eyes, and they are pretty much right with you guys in power. Part of me feels like that has to give you at least some breathing room, a little bit more confidence going into that semi, going into the I guess it is semis. No, sorry, quarterfinals. Now, or sorry, no, yeah, because you 16-8, and then 2. Yes, I guess it would be quarters. So going into your quarterfinal match now, part of me just feels like there has to be a little bit of a relief and a little bit of maybe renewed excitement, where it's like, okay, we're not having to go up against another juggernaut. This feels like it is winnable, but it also feels like, okay, both teams are obviously hopefully going to come in and prep. There's going to be some takeaways that each team is going to apply. I'm sure they're going to watch this match on you guys. You're going to watch their match as well. And probably now it's, we need to go review their matches and go and do some work leading up to the next matchup. But how are you guys feeling right now coming off this, again, massive win as you go into that upcoming match?
Yeah, I mean, we feel great, obviously. With Sleepy Eyes, it does feel good that we're facing a smaller alliance, kind of our size as well. That's a good feeling. But for us, the match versus Sleepy Eyes is now the Roots of War League final. All we care about is getting top 4 so that we can get that training skin.
Yeah.
And then anything after that, we don't give a shit. Like honestly, yeah. I mean, we'll probably try and versus like Ekwon and stuff, but like we're not gonna care as much. Like this, we already said in the call as well when we were VOD reviewing. It's like, this next match versus Sleepy Eyes is our RoW League final, and we're gonna treat it like that. So
okay, interesting. I wonder if that I wonder what did anyone have anything to say about that? Because obviously, if you guys win and now you make it into semis, some people might be like, well, this kind of, again, the objective view is, okay, well, this kind of sucks now because whoever's going to go up against you has a higher percentage chance of just getting a bye to the finals and a free walk. Did anyone say anything, I guess, about that? Or
no,
when you said
not
that
really.
in the call? Okay.
We kind of made that clear as well. Like before the EIS match was like, our main goal is just top 4. Because also, I mean, the biggest reason why we beat EIS is because we were able to surprise them with new tactics, and now that's all on display for everyone to see. So we'll become a bit more predictable, and if we're a little bit more predictable and people have seen our tape and people have seen our strengths and weaknesses, then it's a lot harder to punch upwards at like an alliance like Ekwon, where all their pets, heroes, artifacts, and X and stuff.
Hello.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Man, that's just wild. Crazy. What's up? So you guys get but and again, I think the other part of this, and you've alluded to this already, is that there is a massive, and again, maybe this is something that some people might not immediately gravitate towards, but the fact is that, you know, when I looked at it, it was like, again, it was nearing a 3 bill power. It's like 2.7 something. But again, it's basically about 3 billion power differential they had on you guys. The amount of power differential really goes into the average quality of each of those accounts versus the average quality and progression of your guys' accounts. So to me, it just almost seems like not only, you know, was it a massive upset and win, but at the end of the day, it's like David versus Goliath. It
is, yeah. It's not only David versus Goliath when it comes to power, artifacts, heroes, all that kind of stuff, but also EIS has been established for a long time. They've been prepping for RoW League for a year or more or something like that. So it's not only David versus Goliath, but when you compare the amount of practice that we've put to them, it's like 100 to 1. So
yeah. And I mean, I think the other again, I know they did get some new recruits, so I know they did have some people that came in that were new to their system. I don't believe it was a lot, but I believe it was a small amount of people that I know they had recruited that came in. However, part of me feels like, and obviously I'm sure MFD may have as well, right? So it's not as though that's, you know, you could maybe argue that's just a cancel out. But at that point, you know, I guess to me, it almost sounds like what you're saying about EIS is that they just left a lot on the table that they weren't able to fully utilize. But if they get these things down and they make these adjustments, they make these improvements, they will be an absolute threat in future seasons.
Right, for sure.
Okay.
Odie joined, so you might want to meet him, but
no, it's okay. You know, he's still muted from last time. But I'll unmute him. I'll unmute you in a sec, Odie.
Oh hell no, he's staying muted. Yeah, no, EIS will always be a good team. I think now they're kind of run to an issue in the future as well, because the lesson that they learned from this one is they can't leave too much on the table to try and save for Echo. But then next time they might overcompensate and give too much. So they're kind of in a tricky spot where they can make the same mistake twice. They're just kind of opposite mistakes. But no, EIS will always be a good team. Again, like the biggest reason why we were able to win is we prepped for EIS for like over 60 hours this week. And EIS did not prepare for MFD. Like, why would you? We're this tiny alliance. When you look at our VODs, you see nothing because we didn't show anything.
Just running around like some chickens.
Yeah, exactly. We're running around like a bunch of headless chickens. So, yeah. No, EIS will always be good. Dark is a good war leader. I'm sure like his RoW League team is always going to be top 4 in quality. So,
yeah. Oh man, I mean, it's got to be, to me. You know what it almost feels like, man. Because I'll tell you this right now. When you guys, obviously when you get to quarters, if you win quarters, and then if you guys were, because the thing is after quarters, there's a very good chance that even if you guys made a run for finals, your next 2 matches are absolutely going to be against teams that are stronger than you, right? So it's basically going to be an EIS-like situation back-to-back at that point. The only opportunity you have as far as getting a matchup that is in closer power comparison is going to be your next one in the quarters against Sheesh. So to me, now obviously maybe this is just the lore legend of it all, but I almost feel like there is an opportunity for you guys to almost be freaking like legend slayers in the sense of you know, it's like bringing out, like, I mean, how crazy would it be for you guys to match up Sheesh, you get the win, you go into semis, and then you introduce something new in semis that gets you, even if it edges out, right, but it gets you the win, and then you go into finals and you do something new again for the 3rd time, and it's just I don't know, like that to me has to just be the potential for the most amazing effing storyline right now.
It would.
In RoW League. I mean, you guys are already to me at that point where you to me are either tied, or if not, the number 1 storyline and the number 1 outlier, like the dark horse, right?
Yeah.
The gray pony of the inaugural season. And you know, that in and of itself has to immediately, to me at least, put you guys at, you know, #1 shadowy contention.
Yeah, for sure. No, there's everyone's pretty much cheering for us at this point, which is great. Just the amount of like messages in general chat and everything calling for support with MFD is like really funny. So no, that's definitely the case. I mean, we're definitely gonna try our best, but the main goal is obviously top 4 so we can get the skin, so we can flex that skin as a tiny alliance. So then yeah, from there, you know, we'll see what happens. But the nice thing is every single day that we spend in voice chat, every single day that we practice, we find new things, so you never know what's in store for the future.
No man, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think it's yeah, I mean, I just think it's, what were again, even, obviously I wouldn't ask you who sent you any messages, but what were some of the messages that you got, even if you could broadly or generally speak to some of them?
99% of them are people that hate EIS, which apparently is like the entire community. So so mostly from them, but I also got a message from Dark and Fluffy and Princess as well, saying GG's and that it was fun. So I appreciate the sportsmanship in there.
Okay, respect.
Because I mean, it's very easy to lose a match like that and then turn toxic and blame a bunch of different things, but they were good sports so far, so I appreciate that.
That's good. That's good. Oh man. Yeah, I got 8 minutes left here in this match, and it's like, and this is what's wild to me, is that 8 minutes where we're at right now, they're within about 900 points. Like, yeah. It's close there, right? 8 minutes left, and it's like, man, you're looking at this and you're like, oh my god, this could go any other way. But then now something happened here at around, like, it had to happen maybe around the 8 to 9 minute mark, somewhere around there, it feels like, because they were gaining on you, and then now at 8 minutes and sub 8 minutes, now you're back to having more plus minus
the top left side of the map.
Yeah,
we went
on the outpost, and I see that
occupying the outpost. Yeah. So when that flips, that means that we were getting the points per minute.
Yeah, man, that's just, yeah. And you're right, and again, that's what you spoke to in the beginning, was like, listen, that hall play, the outpost, that was like your 2 outliers for you guys off the rip, and the fact that you guys kept attacking those as well, even though they're on the opposite side of the map. I have to feel like if you're not, you know, it's funny because sometimes the objectives that are the farthest away oftentimes or at times can be the turning point, especially if you're not prioritizing or if you're not able to react in real time for an attack that's coming. It kind of almost gives me like some StarCraft vibes, so to speak, on, you know, taking a third or taking like a new base that isn't like, you know, on the standard line. You kind of take it 1 or 2 bases away, if you will, right? So it's not, you're kind of not telegraphing certain things. Which is not to say like that's a standard strat at all, but it kind of goes into the realm of that for me. It's that you guys identified this and you kept almost poking at it. You were like this bug in their side that, because and this is the thing to me, is that if you don't have, like, as an example, if you do not have a set team or a set group of players that you can call on without overcompensating to try and retake it back.
That's the biggest thing. Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly it.
To me, yeah. And you see where I'm going. Like you see, like, again, right? That's something that I look at. Is like, you guys have, you know, this is how many people we're going to send. This is what the mix is going to be, if any, and we're going to attack it at this time, at these times, whether it's off times to catch them off guard, right? Maybe we'll attack them here when they're overly focused, and you do it. And then if they have to respond via overcompensation, or they're not able to address it before the cap is made, now it's like, it's almost like, what do we do? I mean, right? And it feels like you put them in that.
Dude. They have 10 marches for R4. Bro, like, they're overcompensating so hard for us there, and we knew that they would do that because when we watched their VODs, we knew the people that were assigned to those outposts, and they would always swarm it, even if there's marches in there and stuff. So we're like, okay, if even if it's just one person, if we're sending 4 marches, 2 in each outpost, then that's still a positive 1 march that we're taking away, and we know that that guy will die, so he has to keep sending back. But yeah, exactly what you said, 100%.
Yeah. And see, now this gets me, and this will be something else I'll say, right? Because this is now my freaking strategic head is just like I'm spinning right now. But it almost feels like that is something that people may take away when they're watching VODs, which is looking at how many people are assigned where are the how many people are being allocated, what are their micro and movement tendencies, how are they reacting when something happens, and then it's almost like you're just looking to almost take advantage of those mismatches at certain timing intervals while the match is happening to kind of get up on them in one area or another, right? And this exactly sounds like that. Like this is something if I'm watching VODs and I'm doing analysis, these are the kinds of things I look for. So the fact that we're able to get to this point and I'm able to get this far along my thought process after you said that at the beginning, again, I cannot undervalue and undersell what almost a massive find you guys made to take advantage of the chink in the armor, it feels like.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll be able to do that with every team, so that is one advantage that we have, is like when we VOD review, we'll be able to point out weaknesses, even if they're like the best team ever. Every team is going to have weaknesses. That's just how allocating marches on certain parts of the map works. So that's always a strong suit. But as you can see right now in the stream, like right now we're going crazy in voice chat.
Yeah,
we're telling people
I'm
to
sure.
laugh. We're just like, everyone go mid. And it's insane because basically what you see, if you zoom out a tiny bit, you'll see like the middle lifestone part where it spawns.
Yeah.
And if you're blocking that with infantry, then they can't actually pick up the lifestone. So that's where all of our you see all the yellow marches
I see.
there
yeah,
now.
you guys already okay. It's like a northwest.
Yeah. So we're just trying to
south,
hold that space as long as possible because we know that EIS can't take the lifestone if we're occupying that. So all of our staffs, all of our infantry is going right there so that they can't take it.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like we were saying earlier, where it's like you can't take any damage on it, but you have to be the only ones that are touching it versus the others, or vice versa.
Yeah.
In order to actually
we're basically
start
body blocking.
Yeah,
we're basically body blocking.
So explain this to me, because maybe this is something I'm not familiar with. So when you cap the lifestone in the lifestone, is it just is just a passive application of those stats to your team for what, for that, or just for that one march?
Yeah, just for the one march. So basically,
so it's not
if you're the march that picks it up, you get like a 200% slow, 200% damage taken increase, something like that. So
okay.
Oh yeah, you can see it. 60% march, 200%.
But you also get this delivery, so you get some alliance points. And I see. Okay, so it's not necessarily something that.
Well, the alliance points, dude. Like that's like 4,500 for the 4th lifestone, dude. That's crazy.
Now, but these are going towards the overall points up here.
Yeah,
you have on the top board, right? So that's why you're saying you guys invested so hard, because if they would have capped it, then they could have potentially won it at the very end.
They would have.
Oh, they would have won it there at the very end. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Which basically means the last 2.5 minutes were just. Yeah.
It was just chaos. Yeah, because we basically like 4 or 5 minutes in, like left of the match, we saw that EIS wasn't rallying any of our buildings anymore, so we could fully abandon them. We started taking garrisons out and everything.
Yeah.
And just leaving a couple marches in there, then everything else just sending it mid.
Jeez. So that means that the lifestone, and again, this is probably just going to be a new question, but it feels like this is based on what you're saying. The point scale with each consecutive lifestone. Okay.
So it starts with 3,000, and then it's 350, then it's 4,000,
and then 45 on the 4th. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. Dude, so this is it. This is like the hallelujah. This is the Hail Mary, basically, that EIS was. Now, the interesting part to me is that in their strategy, it almost feels like it could have maybe worked out if they either would have been able to control the area early or put some early emphasis on it, but at the same time, you would have had to time out what the point differential was, so you guys didn't take advantage to gain points in other areas to make sure that whatever that if they were going to cap, which maybe feels like what they should have done, which is like, let's do some quick math and figure out, okay, well, maybe we need to leave all of these, because at this point, even if they recap these and we cap the lifestone, we'll still edge them out, even if it's by 5, 10, 15 points or whatever it is, right? So to me, it almost feels like maybe the play there at the end would have been to camp it, like almost spawn camp it earlier than they did,
Yeah.
And then try and just basically have mid control the entire time. Do you feel like maybe if they tried that, that could have possibly worked out for them?
100%. I don't understand why EIS didn't do that at all. I think for pretty much all the lifestones, they showed up at like a minute 30, like until the lifestone spawns. Like that's ridiculous. When you look at Rise of Kingdoms teams that are preparing for the Ark of Osiris, they're there 6 minutes ahead of time. 6 minutes or 8 minutes, because fighting for the field control is the most important part, and EIS was not doing that. Like if MFD was able to prepare more than a week, this probably would have been a 15k win by MFD, because we would have won all the lifestones as well. So,
dude,
but we just did not have enough time. I mean, we only have a week. We're gonna practice our opening play. We're gonna practice the things that are gonna give us the biggest shot of winning, and lifestones were not that in this match. So
oh my gosh. Dude, nuts. Now I'm looking at the end screen here for what you were saying about the kills and the wounded, and then the heals. Because they did a lot.
Dude, they literally just slaughtered us in kills. Like, yeah.
Jeez. And then the 3-0. And see, this is wild to me that they captured 3-0 in the lifestones and got all those extra points, but you guys, you know what it's like? You know what it's almost like? It's like a mixture of, it's like if you were playing domination and like capture the flag at the same time and like CoD or something, and it's like you guys are controlling the dom points, but like they got the extra flag caps for like extra points on the side, but because you basically held, it's almost like you were more consistently holding the overall theater of RoW versus them doing a couple caps, a couple bringing on the flags for extra points. But to me, that really speaks to it, which is like, you guys clearly had, at least again, an overall better approach and strat, and you were able to sustain and hold longer for a longer period of time on the main points, where the lifestones really didn't impact, obviously, albeit the fourth one, which of course it could have, but in this case, because you were able just to deny and hold, which, again, I guess I understand. It's almost like, did you feel like those first 3 attempts, like, was it more of like you just knew? Because to me, it almost feels like what you've been saying is that, and given that they had 3 out of 4 lifestones, like it was almost inevitable that they were going to get each lifestone. And it was just a matter of, how can we win in a different, other creative way to approach this? And that was kind of what you guys came up with.
It's just about doing math and kind of like simulating how you think the match will go. Because with this, it was obvious in this match, we controlled the whole match. So if we're doing that and we're playing how we think, then we can just assume like the amount of points that will happen. Because at the end of the match. So that's kind of what we're doing. Like, we're planning on giving them pretty much every lifestone. The only thing that sucked is well, first of all, our delaying the lifestone strat was terrible, but second, the bear not spawning at the beginning was really, really bad. Because if there was a guaranteed only 3 lifestone match, then the game would have been over a long time ago.
Yeah. But I think this brings me to, I guess, maybe a revelation for someone, again, that doesn't play RoW and has watched very minimal RoW myself, is what this match to me also shows is that you could arguably get away with minimal effort / delaying on lifestones and prioritize everything else. And
building,
and you could still come out ahead.
Buildings are the most important part of the game. It's the same as Rise of Kingdoms. It's the same as this game. Buildings are pretty much everything.
Now, because to me it almost feels like, okay, well, if you go and you commit for lifestone, but you're losing the field battle on the on the objective controls, it almost feels like the other team could almost try and take advantage of that as well, where it's like, you go for the lifestone, now we're going to take advantage of you going for the lifestone, even if we just send some, but we're not going to send as much, and we're going to use this opportunity because you're front loading or you're trying to overwhelm to cap lifestone, maybe overcommitting, and we're going to use this timing advantage to now take other objectives on the map so we can get further ahead. And obviously there's a give and take there, of course, on what you're going to go for. But to me, it just almost feels like, again, it feels like you guys have cut, at least to me, from what I see, have kind of opened the door to that other approach and that other line of thought
So
when you're coming in.
what you just mentioned is basically what you're going to be seeing more in the second row league. That's basically how it develops. Is like this first one, you're seeing all these interesting like opening plays and all that kind of stuff, and a bunch of new strats. And then the second row league is gonna just be there's gonna just be a lot of default things that happen. The buildings should be guaranteed 50-50 across the board. MFD should have half of the first occupations, and the other team that we're facing should have half the first occupations. That should be 100% guaranteed, which isn't the case right now, but it should be in the future. And then after that, it comes down to rotations, it comes down to coordination, it comes down to microing, it comes down to if they're going for life stones, how can we take their buildings? Or if we're going for lifestone, how what buildings do we want to prioritize more than others? Because if you're going for lifestone, for example, next row league, not this one, you are going to lose buildings. And if you're the one that's going for lifestone, or sorry, if you're the one that's letting them get the lifestone, then you need to take buildings. Otherwise, you're gonna go negative in the point trade. So it just comes down to the math. It just comes down to trading out.
No, absolutely. And if I don't know if have you played Halo?
I have not.
Okay, but you're familiar with Halo, right? The FPS game. So it's,
I know.
It reminds me of kind of going back to some of my Halo days. It's like power weapons, right? So it's like once you pick a power weapon up, right, it's going to respawn at a certain time interval, and you would basically have teams that would always be trying to keep track of your power weapons versus theirs, or if it's a neutral map, right, when the power weapons or certain things are going to be coming back up and spawning. And so sometimes you would have people doing preemptive attacks, right? So they might throw a nade, or they might start shooting that area already maybe a couple seconds before it spawns, or they might try and send one or two people over there early to maybe try and get some sneaky quick kills and then grab the power weapons. So it kind of, again, right, to me, I like to draw similarities from other games, and it kind of feels like that is based on what you're saying, and at least what I feel like I've surmised, some similar approaches, whether you see them happening more in, more now, maybe going into the semis and the finals, or more so in the second round, or in the second season. But no, man, I absolutely love that. And part of me almost wants to do some of that content wise, which is let me go through and let me show what are the openings, what's the percentage of troops, what's the first objective everyone's going for, what's the biggest turning point in matches that happens, right? What objectives end up being I like looking at those things when I'm watching. And so that's some of the things I've kind of thought of when I've had a moment to kind of think about, how would I maybe approach covering some RoW stuff. But
totally. Yeah, absolutely. But when you look at all the leaders in this game and everything, people have some sort of experience, whether it's from FPS games or other mobile games or whatever it may be. And a lot of those qualities and strats that you run in other games you can pretty much directly translate into this game as well. So, especially the leading aspects.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. This is, it's just, man, it's like you guys have 30 StarCraft players. Everyone is just everyone's locked. Yeah, everyone's locked in just microing, and it's just, oh god, man, but this was fun. This was the first high level match that I've probably watched from beginning to end. And I will say, man, this is, and see, that's the thing for me. I love the close matches. Blowouts are cool. Now, the only thing I'll say about a blowout, the only thing that would be exciting to me about a blowout is if it was an upset. Otherwise, it's just a blowout. Otherwise, I want to see close matches.
If MFD had another week of practice, our match versus EIS would have been a blowout. Yeah, for sure.
And see, and that, and I can only imagine if it was, and if that happened, how, I'm sure the meme channel would have been locked down for a day. So.
Yeah, for sure. But at least we got the win. We knew it would be a very close match with our predictions on the score and everything. So. We're just happy that we were on the winning side rather than the losing side. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Oh man, well, Abda, man, listen, I appreciate you coming on and sitting down, man. This was great. I felt like I was able to learn a number of things on RoW, and we were able to have what I felt was a really good kind of back and forth and review and recap on how your guys' match went. And absolutely, I have to say, of course, before we wrap, was an amazing and absolute congratulations, man.
Thank you.
The fact that you guys won, and again, and I think it's well deserved. I don't think anyone would say that or say otherwise. And I think, if anything, like I said, man, I think people are going to be, I think you guys, in my opinion, are now all of a sudden the team to watch. And it's not,
Yeah,
and it's not even close. Like, people, of course, are going to watch Echo because people's expectations still are that Echo should be making it to the finals. But aside from that, you guys, in my opinion, are the #1 team to watch right now, and have now, to me, it feels like revitalized the excitement for the playoffs. And I say because to me, it almost felt like a number of people thought that, okay, well, quarters are kind of decided. We kind of already know more or less what's going to be happening, right? It may, even though people thought, well, once playoffs started, it'll be a little bit more exciting. But now it's like, okay, it was probably more like quarters. Quarters will probably be there, and into semis will be the more exciting part. But for the most part, like, we kind of already have an idea on who we think is going to make it where. But to me, I feel like you guys just flipped the script on everyone's head.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can put on a show. It's definitely going to be 10 times harder now that we've kind of shown everything in our book, but we'll come up with new stuff, and we'll see what we can do. But main goal is top 4. So focus on getting there first, and then beyond that, we'll see what we can cook. But awesome. I appreciate you having me on, Beyond. So
yeah, man. No, dude, thanks, man. No, this was absolutely great, man. I appreciate the time.
Yep. Take care, bro.
All right, later.